YouTube. So if you're here on Zoom, let us know, give us a hi on the chat, let me know your name and the city that you're from. And we're about to get started very, very soon. Cecilia, yes, you can attend this session. You can be a student, or you may not have any experience in data analytics yet, but nothing stops you from attending this session. Hi, Syed. Good evening. Let us know your name, guys. Hi, Muttu. Good evening. My name is Aparna. I'm going to be your host. We have Basil, who's our expert, and we'll get started very, very soon. Shweta, hi. Bhupati, Sarabjeet, Saurav, Manoj, hi. Okay, Manoj is from Shimla. Nice to have you, Manoj. Okay. Pavan, Pasha, great, great to have you guys. So today's agenda is for you to understand how you can leverage GenAI in data analytics. You're going to understand that, and we'll also just show you a short demo of how you can do that. Okay, so that's what's you're going to be learning today. The session is going to be an hour long, and we'll be taking in questions towards the end. So if you have questions to ask, please make sure you put them on the Q&A box. Yeah, and also if you missed something, don't worry, session is being recorded, so you'll receive the recording and the certificate towards the end. Okay. Yes, so please remember that the certificate comes to you in 24 to 48 hours. So if that's okay, great. Right. Yeah. So again, quick summary of what I just said. Make sure if you have questions, please put them on the Q&A box. And if you're watching us on YouTube, leave your questions on the chat box here. Remember, you will get the link to the recording and the certificate next couple of days. We'll collect your names towards the end. Okay, so there are going to be a lot of polls that I will launch while we're doing the session to understand your interest in the course that we're talking about, or your profile. It can be anything. So make sure you're active in the polls and you're also engaging in the session. Thank you, Ebenezer, Meenakshi. Great to have you guys on YouTube. Sorry. Yeah. Great. So we're about to start. Before I start, I would like to understand about you guys a bit more. So now that we have your names, let me know if you are already pursuing or you're already a data analyst, or you're pursuing a career in data analytics. Just give me a yes or a no. A no if you're a newcomer to the whole field. Just give me a yes or a no, please. Okay. Okay. A yes or a no. Yes if you are already into data analytics. A no if you are a newcomer. Okay, great. It's like a mixed bag. Okay. Great. Thank you so much for your responses. So another poll coming in to understand about your work experience. So let us know how long you've been working. Okay, so if you're a student, just you click on currently studying, and the other responses based on your work experience. This is collective work experience, not limited to data analytics. Okay, Navina, on the poll, please, so that we can, see the results there. Yeah, people on YouTube, just use the poll here. Okay, a lot of people on YouTube say they are into AI, they're an AI ML engineer, but no one in data analytics. Okay, great. Okay, so I'm going to be stopping the poll right here and sharing the results with Basil. I'm sure you can see the results here as well. So a lot of them are still students. All right. So with this, let's just get started. Quickly introduce you to Simplilearn. Simplilearn offers skills in various domains, generative AI, data analytics being just a couple of them. So if you are interested in knowing a bit more about what courses we offer, just head to simplylearn.com. Today, particularly, we'll be talking about the IIT Guwahati course in data analytics and generative AI, right? So once we're done talking about the session, we'll explain you the course, how this course helps you become or pursue a career in data analytics, and what kind of skills you will learn, and all of that. Yeah. So with this, let me introduce you to our expert today. So Basil here is data analytics, and he's been in the industry for quite some time. He's also a Simplilearn trainer for a lot of our programs. And so welcome, Basil. Thanks so much for your time today again. You can introduce yourself to the learners.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Aparna, for the introduction. Hello, everyone. Glad to be on this platform and meeting with you today. Hope you're having a good one. And happy Thanksgiving for the ones that are observing Thanksgiving for today. Basically, in my career, I started as a data analytics individual, mainly for data engineering. So it's more of data analysis, data engineering, and building pipelines, or let's say infrastructure to serve for a database and data warehouse for the analytics layer for our end users. But right now, I'm basically leading three teams: marketing and growth analytics, reporting visualization, and DQA automation. For the ones that are not familiar with the terminology here, DQA stands for data quality assurance. So this is a key component in almost every data engineering and data analytics team, is that you need to have data quality checks and QA assurance before you publish any dashboards or insights. With that, our scope of work encompasses multiple things. So talk about healthcare, advanced insights, building dashboards, building data structures that are useful for other business users, and on top of that, building machine learning models to derive insights and predictive analytics. Outside of my professional career, I also worked with Simplilearn to train individuals from Caltech, UTD, and Purdue University.
Great. Thanks so much for your introduction, Basil. Let's now get started with the session. Let's understand why generative AI is a game changer for data analytics. I mean, generative AI is a game changer in general. It has simplified and automated so many of redundant tasks in whatever domain possible. But today is about how it really is a game changer and how it influences data analytics really. So if you can take them through this aspect.
Yeah, absolutely. So think of generative AI, and I think everyone is aware now, is being embedded in every industry, every realm, pretty much, especially for anything that touches data. So with generative AI, the goal here is to utilize it as a companion, right? Now, I know a lot of you are always worried about the topic, is that is generative AI going to replace my job or do the tasks that I am already doing? The answer is not exactly. Actually, generative AI proved to be a great companion. So the goal here, just think about it on a high level. You are the creator. You are the person that's coming up with the business ideas. And then generative AI is your companion to take you throughout that course. All right. And with that, just start thinking about any application that you are wanting to do, but you have let's say, technological gap, or let's say knowledge gap of how to embed it. That's where generative AI can step in and fill in the gaps. So generative AI is basically an AI system that is capable for creating new data based on your existing data set. So you do have to provide information to guide it through the end solution or the end result. All right. And with that, we are able to gain multiple advantages. So you have faster insights generation, enhance decision making. So a lot of executives actually use generative AI, especially when you customize it to your own business needs for decision making and predictive and prescriptive analytics. On top of that, you have the efficiency and the data preparation and visualization that can help you with. I'm going to show you an example shortly, how you can leverage it to analyze the data for you.
Right. Okay. So some use cases and how GenAI is used in data analytics.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will show an example of what we mean by data cleaning, because a lot of people sometimes they ask me a question like, is that a common issue to always deal with bad, what we call dirty data? The answer is yes. Think about it in a way where there's so much data that's being gathered. And with that, it is hard to find comprehensive system that would eventually clean all the data for you. So there will always be unique use cases that are associated with your data elements where it is challenging to have an automated system that can do it all. So on that end, you have to spot those issues and then help improve your existing system to clean the data. So ChatGPT can help you spot those data anomalies. It can help you with data preparation, how I can integrate the data together. It can also help you with data synthesis. So this becomes important when you have what we call imbalanced data. When you have, let's say, a sample size of cancer patients that is much less than sample size of non-cancer patients, and you want your model to be balanced. Enhanced visualization, we're going to look into that. It can always improve your visualization. You can ask for suggestions and it'll either give you the finalized code or give you suggestions how to improve your existing code. And then last but not least, just natural language insights. If you are trying to grab piece of text and you want to organize it, you want to classify it for machine learning, it can also convert complex data, text data for you.
Right. Okay. Okay. So how does one get started with the whole process?
Yeah, absolutely. So it always starts, and not just for generative AI, for any, let's say, machine learning problem or data analytics problem, is that you do have to assess your problem, your objective, and your data needs. In order to assess your data needs, you also have to make sure that you are aware of what is doable and what's not. So you have to make sure that I have access to this data or database, and I can pull this information. So you have to identify these areas in your analytics process that can benefit from the generative AI. So things like your tabular information that is ready for, let's say, data visualization. That would be one example. Then you need to be familiar with some of the generative AI tools. So OpenAI's API, you can basically connect directly your editor, like your code editor, to OpenAI's API, and that will basically pull information from ChatGPT, for example. You also have other applications like Microsoft Azure OpenAI service and Google's Vertex. So plenty of tools out there that you can leverage, and the majority of those are free, by the way. And then as a manager, you have to make sure that your team is capable of bouncing back between their work and then you leveraging the help from generative AI. So they need to have some technical experience just so they can understand what parts they need to ask for and how they can integrate the components together. Now, ChatGPT can sometimes put everything together for you, but in most cases, it's not practical for your use case. It's not exactly tailored for your use case. So for that aspect, you have to have people that are like architects. They're able to grab the pieces of the puzzle and use ChatGPT to help with some of those components, then integrate them together in one piece. Okay?
Got it.
Yep.
So do you want to share your screen here, Basil?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah,
So give me 1 second. I can start
sure,
sharing.
sure.
Okay. So share my screen now. All right, and let me know when you see my screen.
Sure. Yeah, it's visible.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. So what I'm going to be using for today is ChatGPT. However, you can basically use any let's say generative AI application in this situation. So for example, let's say that I have a data set and I have prepared a data set for you today that we can leverage. Okay. So let's say I have a data set I'm going to upload here. So I'll basically click on the attach files. All right. And then I can upload from the computer and I can choose my data set. The data set I'm looking for is called school grades. All right. And
Are you
then what I
showing this here? Sorry, Basil, to interrupt. Are you showing the uploading as well? Because I can't. Oh yeah,
flagged yet.
now it's visible. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Let me do that one more time. So
Yeah.
what we could do is you see that there's attach files here button. Okay. I click on it and you can connect to your Google Drive or OneDrive if you have your file on a cloud service. And then you'll click upload file and then you can search for whatever file that you are interested in. In most cases, it will take CSV files. So I always recommend using CSV files, and that stands for comma separated value file. Okay. And that file basically, it's just like you have a data set that is separated, every column is separated by commas. So very common file. And if you're using Excel, you can always export Excel into CSV. There's an option in Excel that helps you export into CSV. Same thing goes with Google Sheets. So what I want to say here, and just a clear, nice prompt, I want to say analyze the attached. Let's say I want to get ideas. Now, obviously, I can start on the data myself, but I just want to get ideas about the data set. So I want to say analyze the attached data set and give me insights, okay, about the scores columns, okay? So here I specified what columns I want to focus on, but then you are telling still ChatGPT to do a high-level analysis on the data set, okay? So I'm going to run this, and you can see it's going to start giving you a load button for analyzing. So it is now reading the data, it imported the data, and it's going to run its analysis. Typically, it will be running Python code, which is the most common language for analyzing data. So it's going to run Python code in the background and then try to analyze the data for you and give you insights. So for the ones, this is very useful. Why? Because the ones that are not tech savvy or they don't have experience with code, they can look at the summary and they're done there. And they can ask additional questions about the data and so on. But for the ones that are familiar with code and they just want to get like brainstorming ideas, they can always click on this and it'll show you the syntax that was used for this data. Okay. We'll get back to this part shortly. I'm going to actually eventually use the data set. I'm going to use the code in my code editor. All right, let's high level read what type of analysis it came up with. So right off the bat, it's telling me about the size of the data, 1,000 entries, 8 columns, right? And then we have an overview of the columns. So think of this, what we call data dictionary. Data dictionaries are very useful because at a glance, they help us understand the aspect of the data and what it is in the scope. So here it's telling me gender, that is male or female. We have class groups, so we have multiple classes. So I can see a sample of the data, A, B, C. We have parental level of education for the students. And then we have highest level of education attained by parents. So that's high school, some college, and so on. We have lunch, test preparation, and so on. So it tells me on a high level what these columns mean. Next step, it tells me what type of analysis performed. This is useful because I can tell what's missing. If I need further analysis, I can always assess, okay, so it did mean, median, range. What if I want to do standard deviation? I can always ask that in a second prompt, okay? So it did an analysis, mean, median, range, distribution. So now if I scroll down, it gives me a high-level summary of all these values. So now I have mean, which is 66.4 for math score. So it gives me a very nice breakdown of this analysis. Math score, so it's telling me about all these measures, right? Reading score, writing score, and so on. And then it gives me a deep dive of the analysis for the distribution. So here the scores in all three subjects span with low around 13 to 27 to high, which is 100. So it just gives me a scope of the data. And notice this is the power of Gen AI is that it did that in a split of a second. Okay. Now there are some data limitations, and it is a bit tricky to measure that because you may have a very wide data set and a short data set that can still take that, right? And when we say wide data set, meaning multiple columns, right? So I say it depends. Just try to limit it to something around 3,000, 4,000. Now you might say, what if my data set is in millions? In that situation, the GUI product of ChatGPT does not help with that size of data. Your company has to subscribe or get a subscription to a generative AI base model where they can use this type of technology on much larger data set. Okay. All right. So let's say, for example, I want to build data visualization on top of this, right? Not just this text summary. In fact, it's already asking me here. So take a look at this question here. Would you like a visualization of these relationships or further exploration by group demographics? So I can say yes, and that's the follow-up prompt. And if you give it a second, it can basically build graphs for you that will give you some insights on the data.
Right, right. Got it. So are you also going to be building these graphs now? Is that why you said a yes there? Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
so it is going to build the graphs for me.
Oh,
All
okay.
right. And it's analyzing right now. So if you
Mhm.
give it a second, it's going to show those graphs. All right. It seems there's an issue creating visualization. Okay, looks like it is struggling. So what you have to do probably just say, again, yeah, it looks like I reached a limit here. But I can show you an example that I've done earlier. Maybe that will help. Just a backup plan. So if I show you that what I did here, it's same thing. I just said yes, followed up with the question. And you
Oh,
can see that it built these nice graphs for me. So you have average scores by gender. So now it tells me the scores, all three different scores by gender. So y-axis, right, for average score, and then x-axis, that is going to be for gender, female and male, and then it gives me the comparison between using the legend, math score, reading score, and writing score. Okay. And it can do that for multiple categories, not just gender. So you can see here it's doing it by lunch type. It's doing it by people that completed the preparation test. And then last here, but not least, is a correlation diagram, which is very useful. And if you take one of our courses, we can definitely teach you how you could leverage this chart in depth. What correlation basically tells me is that how these two, let's say, numeric values are associated with each other. For example, math score and writing score, these are highly associated because they have a score of 81. Same goes with writing score and reading score. So you can see here it's 95% association or correlation. Okay. So that tells me the people who tend to have a high score in writing, they also tend to have a high score in reading exam. Okay. And that's what 95% tells me here. All right.
oh.
So this is the process in a nutshell. Aparna, I'll leave that up to you. How are we doing on time?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go ahead, I mean, you can take another 5 more minutes. I guess we still have some more time. If you would want to show anything else, uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I can copy the code from this process basically. And let's say I'm going to do view analysis here. Okay. And you can see that I have the code already put together for me. It's a very, very nice functionality. So I can click on copy code here. And for the ones that are familiar with Python, I can go to my uh, text editor or my what we call EDI, which is an environment where I can run code. And let's say I want to create a new notebook, and I can paste the code here. Now, of course, first I have to import the data. So to import the data, I definitely need to pull the data here. So I can say import pandas as PD, which is the library that it's being used for this analysis, which is a very popular library in data analysis. And I need to define my data frame. So I need to say df PD and then read CSV, which is my CSV file. Let me copy the path for my file here. So this is basically copying from the application that was implemented in ChatGPT and then borrowing some components from it. Okay. So I'm going to copy the code here or the path that I have.
What's this editor called? Someone had that question. Sorry to interrupt you again.
Oh, yeah. So this is called Visual Studio Code.
Okay.
Okay. Very, very powerful code editor. And it's one of my favorite. It works very well with Python. Yeah, good question. All right. So I'm going to do school underscore grades dot CSV. All right. And if I run my Python code, you can see I have my data set now. So we'll teach you these skills in our courses, how you could import the data using CSV file, and then how you could pull the information about the data. All right. Now, after that, I can definitely leverage these code snippets, right? And things like even the initial stuff that it did up here as well. So if you want to copy this code in here, okay? So let's even look at a different code snippet I want to show you right here. Okay. So this one right here, copy code. Okay. I just copied the code. Let's say I want to do the initial analysis that it did. It is using data here. So I need to make sure I'm using the same object that's defining, which is not a big deal. I'm just referencing my data in the same name that ChatGPT is referencing. So if I run this, you can see all I did is I copied and pasted the code. And that saved me so much time and effort from putting all these pieces together or typing these from scratch. And it just gave me that same exact report, comprehensive report of all the information. All right. So that's how it is in a nutshell. I can also run the visualization.
Mhm.
So now I have it in my local machine, running it on my own program. And let's say I want to uh, use this for a presentation. Now I have it ready. And you can see here in 10 minutes, we were able to put all of this together.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, great, great. So, are there other tools that they should be learning, or what if someone does not know code? I mean, I'm sure this question is going to come up, so I'm just going to put it right away. So, what if someone does not have the knowledge of Python? Can they still become or pursue a career rather in data analytics? And what should they be learning or preparing themselves for?
Yeah, very good question. So, and that's what we offer at Simplilearn, right? We will help you start from scratch, right? The
Right.
basics of data analytics. We'll start with even Python foundations just to get you comfortable with the Python language. We also have projects that we will work on. So, me as an instructor, I can definitely guide you through these projects just so you can have a practical experience with Python. And then we can start looking at Python as a tool for data analytics.
Right.
So our programs offer really great functionality and examples to guide you through this learning journey, regardless to your level of experience.
Got it. So someone had a question about so instead of Visual Studio Editor, can they use Jupyter Notebook? So is that's the question that Payal has.
That's exactly what I'm using right now is a Jupyter notebook embedded in VS Code. And
Oh,
in order to do this quickly is you click on extensions and you can download them here. So you see there's Jupyter extension, right? And once you download it, you should be able to use Jupyter Notebooks inside VS Code.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I hope, Payal, that answers your question. And with that, I'm just launching another poll. We'll take them through the course after this. Um, so people who are still thinking about pursuing a career in data analytics, just let us know what your blocker is. So whether you find it difficult to find a comprehensive course, whether you don't have the practical exposure, whether it's your work schedule that's not allowing you to upskill or learn, whatever your answer is, let us know through this poll here. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Basically, you were also saying something. You were finishing something. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, not exactly. I was actually, waiting for some of the insights that we're going to get from the poll. So, yeah, happy to respond to any questions after as well.
Right, right, right. Yeah, the poll's going to take a while, at least another 30 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see if I can look at some of the questions actually that are being posted.
Some of them are
Uh,
on the chat here, on the chat. Shailendra has a question about. So he's very new to data science, has no knowledge about Python or DS. How can he start learning? What should be his roadmap?
yeah, very good question. I
Hmm.
would say is getting familiar with data in general. So trying to understand data elements, data structures. So in most cases, we'll be working with tabular data, meaning a data set that looks exactly like what I'm showing here. Okay. So that's a good start is to always familiarize yourself with the data elements, types of data, right? So we have numeric data and then we have categorical data. We have, for example, here, reading scores, we call it numeric, and then we call categorical data is what you see these first 5 columns, okay? And the reason why this is important because every type of data has its own treatment in terms of data analysis and statistical evaluation. For example, you can't do correlation on categorical data. You have to do a completely different test. So things like what we call chi-square test. On the other hand, for numeric values, it makes sense to do correlation so you can find association between numeric values. So just to answer your question, I know you answered about a roadmap. I'm just giving you an example of some things that you have to consider so you can be successful in your data analysis. And with that, try to build a roadmap where you start with the basics of data, understanding data and its elements, then foundation basics. And then on top of that, you start uh, uh, expanding your knowledge on techniques in data analysis using Python. So once you tackle these two main components, you start learning about how you can do data analysis in Python. Then learning some statistics just to understand how you can do statistical evaluation for your data elements. And then eventually, machine learning will become easy to learn. So you do have to uh, get familiar with the foundations first, then you should be ready with machine learning interpretation of your data, and then possibly prediction. And
Got
by the way, our Simplilearn courses will guide you through this roadmap. So you don't have to worry about that roadmap yourself. If you sign up to our courses, we'll definitely help you through the every stage, plus the live support that is provided by instructors like me.
Exactly. So with that, I think based on with that, we should take them through the course here. While you were talking about
Yeah.
someone asked about the roadmap. So I think this course exactly offers the same roadmap that you were talking about. So maybe you could explain the course curriculum here. And I'm also going to share the link on the chat so that everyone can refer to. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you going to share one of the courses like on the
Yeah, this,
Simplilearn platform?
oh, I
Okay.
haven't I? So this is the course. We're going to be talking about the professional certificate program in data analytics and generative AI. And this is offered in collaboration with E ICT Academy, IIT Guwahati. So we're going to be specifically talking about this course today. So here's the curriculum. You can take them through the various modules that the course has.
Yep. Absolutely. So I think what I love about this course is that it's not going to immediately start with code in terms of data analysis. It'll get you prepared with the data analytics concept. using Excel, a tool that you're familiar with. I think in today's age, almost 99% of people are familiar with Excel and how to use it. If not Excel, Google Sheets, which is the free product that's available by Google. So we're going to go over Excel, its functionality, how to run statistical analysis in Excel, all the functions that I even used in Python. Okay. And then from there, we're going to move on to another language that is very important in the data analytics and data engineering realm. It's SQL. Okay. So it stands for Structured Query Language, and will basically help you query data and analyze data from databases. All right. So we're going to talk about data acquisition and manipulation because these are very important. Like how are you going to be able to work on the data and analyze it successfully if you don't know how to acquire it and integrate it together. So step number two is going to help you with that data acquisition and manipulation. So not only can you import the data, you can also manipulate it using SQL. Then we're going to look into techniques of what we call ETL. Very, very important item here. And especially if you are well versed in ETL, you can list that proudly on your resume because a lot of job blogs or job postings, they always ask for ETL. And it stands for extract, transform, and load, meaning your ability to extract the data, just like what we looked into in SQL for data acquisition. So extract the data, transform it, and load it all in one component. Okay. So that is very important in a lot of companies because you start with raw data and you have to prepare that data in a format that is useful and insightful to you or your end users. So once you're comfortable with these concepts, we're going to look into visualization using Tableau. Tableau right now is one of the most utilized tools for data visualization or building dashboards. So a lot of the beautiful insights and dashboard that you see online sometimes that are developed using tools like Tableau. Another competitor of Tableau that's also similarly popular is Power BI, if you're familiar. So if you're familiar with Power BI, you shouldn't have a problem with Tableau. But if you're not familiar with both or either of these tools, that's okay. We will start from the basics. And then after that, we're going to talk about, I mentioned that earlier, fundamentals of Python programming. So we're not going to jump immediately into Python analytics or using analytics with Python. We're going to start with Python fundamentals because they will help you understand how to leverage these tools for data analytics. Okay. So once you're comfortable with Python fundamentals, how to build functions in Python, how to package your programs in Python, it should be easy for you to understand the concepts that we will discuss in the next chapter, which is data analytics with Python. Okay. Then we'll move on to how you can visualize the data using Python. So at this point, you have exposure to multiple tools to build your data visualization, okay, that help you complete the picture. Visualization and analysis in Excel, visualization and analysis in Tableau, and then last but not least, visualization and analysis using Python. So just think about how comprehensive this course is and how it makes you well-rounded in different tools so it can make you very proficient and very effective at the task that you want to execute. Okay. And then at the end, we'll dive into generative AI and how it can be used as a final component for your data analysis journey.
Got it. Great. Yes. So for people asking the link to this course, it is there on the chat box. But Basil, I think you've got a few more questions to answer. Someone has said they've completed a PG course, I think from Simplilearn in data science. But how will this course, exactly the one that we're talking about, how will this course help them to become an AI engineer? And what kind of job roles can they take up after this?
Yeah. Honestly, for just the concepts of data analysis, if you already took the PG course, then you've already had enough exposure with data analysis in general. Now, if you want to revisit some components and get a more detailed walkthrough, this course will offer that. On top of it, the PG course for AI only focuses on Python. This course that we're looking at right now will present two additional tools for you,
Mhm.
SQL, SQL, which is not discussed in the course you took, and Tableau. All right. And I see this a lot everywhere in the job posting for data science and machine learning. SQL and Tableau, or something similar to Tableau, is a must. Okay. It's a very preferred skill set to have as a data scientist or machine learning practitioner.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
So Esther has a question. Please, what is the most popular IDE that is used by data analytics professionals?
That depends on a lot of factors. There's no one answer to this is the tool because I've seen companies that use Anaconda with Jupyter Notebooks. I've seen companies that use PyCharm, and I've seen companies that use VS Code. So what I just mentioned now are the three most popular. So you can't go wrong where if you choose one of these three. So Anaconda, um, VS Code, and then PyCharm. Okay.
Got it. Got it. So Payal, coming to your question, yes, all of these modules will take 11 months to complete. It is an online course that will also involve a lot of live sessions with the trainer where you're interacting with them. Also, you're interacting with your peers. So you're able to understand, the concepts better instead of learning it from recorded videos, right? So along with the curriculum that Basil mentioned, we also have electives for you to choose from. Of course, the academic masterclass is going to be conducted by an IIT faculty, IIT Guwahati faculty, and then you have an industry masterclass that's going to be conducted by IBM. So you have another IBM elective, which is mathematical optimization for business problems, right? So for this course particularly, you get a separate certificate from IBM, and for the entire course, you get a completion certificate in with along with Simplilearn, the E ICT Academy offers it, right? So that's just a bit about the course. I've taken you through the highlights, but Basil, one more aspect that we'd like to cover is the project. So what would one do in a typical project? Let's say the first one, create a virtual assistant with generative AI. So what would one be typically doing? If you can take them through that as well.
Yeah, good question. So what this project intends to do is to teach you very important skills. And if you asked me maybe 6, 7 years ago, what were some of the most important skills, and you told me it was prompt engineering, I wouldn't have believed you, right? Now, prompt engineering is becoming a very essential skill to elevate your workflow. So this project is going to teach you how to improve your prompt engineering skills. And just to explain what we mean by prompt engineering is I'm sure you're familiar with a prompt. That's the message that you have to send to ChatGPT so it can give you the results. And prompt engineering teaches you the best practices and standards to get the best output from ChatGPT, right? So a lot of people that are not experienced in prompt engineering, they're missing out on really great functionalities from ChatGPT that can pinpoint a solution for you, exactly what you're looking for, all right, without wasting time into like going into circles with the prompt with ChatGPT, right? So I'm sure you guys are familiar with that situation where you continuously ask questions to ChatGPT and you still can't find an answer that you are looking for. So prompt engineering will help you understand what components are needed to pinpoint at a solution and get the answer you're looking for.
Right, got it. So I'm going to quickly launch a poll collecting your interest for the course. So if you're interested, please select a yes. And we're on to the next question here by Payal. She's got 10 years of experience as Q&A, sorry, QA, and it is being said that there are very few requirements for her experience in the field of data analytics and data science. Is that correct?
Yeah, good question. So for QA, data analysis, understanding the basics and the concepts of data analysis will help you become a good QA expert. Okay. Because whether you're doing QA, let's say for a software, or you're doing QA for a data set, or let's say a dashboard or a report, how do you check for the quality of the data and the quality of the information if you don't know how to query the data, extract it, and look at it from a different angle, right? So learning about data analysis will make you a very strong QA specialist, right? So you'll be able to know how to merge the data together, extract it, how you can aggregate the data. Because when you look at, let's say we're doing QA for a dashboard, all right? That dashboard has the data already baked in and aggregated, put together. You need to learn how to do that on your own on the side. That way you can see, okay, I'm getting the average, let's say, average obesity in the dashboard, right? Average obesity score. You need to learn how to extract that on your own outside from the dashboard so you can compare the two numbers side by side and you say, like, okay, this number matches the one that I have, then the dashboard is reliable. So that's one example of how data analysis can help with QA.
Got
Hope
it.
that answered the question.
Yeah, hope that answered the question, Pyle. Someone asking the course fee, yes, it does. Great, great. So if you're still interested, please select a yes on the poll here. Someone asking about the course fee. So it's INR about 1,20,000 rupees, but you do have discounts and installments. I was just going to type that for someone. So the best person to answer this about your options, financing options, is a learning advisor. So just select yes on the poll and then someone will contact you. I can't see the course syllabus or roadmap in the course link. Okay, so Shailendra, if you just head to the course page, you would have to head to the place where we were talking about the curriculum. So if you go down, you'll be able to download the program syllabus. So here's where you'll get the detailed syllabus about what we cover. Now, what Basil gave you already is a roadmap of what you should exactly be learning, starting with Python. And then you also said you should be learning some statistics. And then, of course, get into the depth of data analytics. So that's your roadmap, just to summarize what Basil said. Yeah. But if you're looking for the course curriculum, here's what you do. You click on program syllabus here, or you just take a look at the curriculum here on the course page. Okay. Yes. Do we have any more questions? Let's see. Okay, will you suggest any other free course? I already did. So I had sent a link to the Skill Up platform. So if someone is interested in taking up a free course, you can head to this platform here. Yes. Yeah. Okay, great. Any other questions that we have? Okay. Okay. So we also have about 30 of you giving us your interest in the course. So we'll have the learning advisor contact you. Okay. And after this poll, I'm going to be launching another poll asking your name for the webinar certificate that some of you asked for, right? So make sure if you still need the certificate, stay till the end. Otherwise, I think we're pretty much done. Okay. Parvez has a question. Shailendra has another question, Basil. How much time does it take to learn and switch to a job in data science?
Yeah, that's a good question. That is really going to depend on your availability. I've worked with people that were able to finish the course in 6 months and people that it took them a year to finish, just based on their availability and will to study extra, right? So there are certain concepts where all you have to do is just practice and work on some exercise. And some of them you have to do additional practice and do homework just to perfect your skills. So I would say if you want to learn all the topics we listed, because that's also another factor of it, right? How comprehensive you want your knowledge to be in data science. If you want to follow the topics we just mentioned, that should take from 6 months to a year.
Right. And Parvez has a question. What's the difference between data analytics and data analysis?
That's almost the same thing. It's just the
Yeah.
same word. Data analytics, think of this as the product, and data analysis is doing the data analysis. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Great. Thanks so much, Basil, today for your time as well. And also, the session was really insightful. Glad that you could show a live demo as well. I'm sure the learners found it useful. If you have any more questions, please feel free to put them here. Or otherwise, I think we're pretty much done with the session. So I'm just going to head to the certificate poll now and launch the poll where we collect your name. So we're almost at the end, Basil. So any closing thoughts, advice that you have for learners here?
Yeah. Again, thank you for having me on here, and very happy to answer some of these questions. Those were really good questions. Just a quick thought here. If you are still feeling lost, still feeling indecisive about this career move, I mean, you are already in the right place, asking the right questions. So don't be afraid to ask questions. Reach out to our platform, people that can help you with any questions you may have about the curriculum. But just starting from asking the question, how can I learn about data analytics? That is a major step that you're taking. So be proud of that and continue that curiosity in asking those questions. So it will guide you through the remaining of the journey.
Got it. Um, I think I'll just answer this question myself, I guess. So Shailendra has a follow-on question. So someone has he has a 6 to 7 years of work experience. So if that's the case, then is a 6 months of learning enough? I mean, again, it depends on what kind of skills you gain. Is that right, Basil? So you could be learning
That's
for
right.
6 months, yeah, but you should also gain the relevant skills, knowledge, learn the relevant tools, gain sufficient experience in handling the tools and gaining exposure. So all of that I think is key. So can someone actually complete the course in shorter time? I'm not sure. I don't think that's possible because most of the sessions are live and you will
Hmm.
need to complete a certain section of the course to get the certificate. So if you're looking for shorter courses, you can head to the other courses in the same category and you'll find more options. Yeah.
Yep, that's
Right.
right.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, someone is actually complimenting you. Very short and useful webinar. Got to know a lot of information about data science and business analytics. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
And Shailendra also wants to reach out to you. Is there an open forum? Okay, there's no open forum as such for Simplilearn, Shailendra. Uh, but you can reach out to Basil on LinkedIn, I guess.
That's
And
right.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You can find me on LinkedIn. I'm sure you can see my full name on Zoom session, but I'll type it out here and
I have
just look.
I
Yep,
have your LinkedIn.
perfect. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'll just share that on the chat.
Yeah, thank you.
So you can find him there, but make sure you post all your questions in one message so you're not spamming him as well. That's
Yeah.
right. Okay, Shriparna, is it okay if you don't have experience but you want to start working in data analytics? Do you want to take that, Basil?
Yeah, and I'm trying to understand the goal of the question. Are you saying that you want to learn as you go, so try to jump into the problem and solve for it using your own research? I mean, it's doable, but the problem with this is it will take you longer time than someone trying to tell you the do's and don'ts, right? Because you'll end up learning by doing so many mistakes, right? And it takes time. So that's the problem with self-learning is that you can do that, but it will take you longer than a specific course. Plus, sometimes you don't know what you don't know, right? If that makes sense. You don't know what questions you need to ask. You can get the job done, but how does that tell you that there are other things that are possible out there? Well, you need someone who's an expert that can tell you, yes, there's this capability. Did you know about that library, or did you know about that technology, and things like that? Yeah.
Got it. Got it. Okay, great. I think with that, we come to the end of this session. It was great hosting this session for you guys. I hope you guys got a lot of insights on how to get started, what kind of tools you would have to learn in order to pursue a career in data analytics. So I'll see you guys in another session. Thanks so much again, Basil. Have a great day. Have a good
Thank
night.
you.
Bye. Bye. So people still looking for certificate, please make sure you enter your name in the poll so that we send out the certificates there. You will receive the recording to the session as well as a follow-up email. And also, if you would want to take a look at the whole session immediately, this session was hosted on YouTube. So you can take a look at the recording there as well. Yeah. So just give me a moment. Okay, I'm sorry. So you can check out our YouTube channel for the recording of this session immediately. But otherwise, I'll see you guys in another session, another webinar. Bye-bye.